Here's more wrestling news for February 3rd, 2026. Your headlines for today include Wrestling World buzzing over possible AEW TNA deal, viral heckling incident at Saturday night's main event ends with fan apology to Roxanne Perez, AEW lands big New Japan Pro Wrestling name and surprise signing, Ava's WWE exit shocked everyone, now she's selling her NXT gear, inside story on why Hobbs reached out to AEW wrestler, Andrade's AEW plans shift rapidly after return, Hulk Hogan's Clearwater Mansion hits market with jaw-dropping price, Linda McMahon's school appearance canceled after parent backlash, and more. Booker T has now reacted to Ava's unexpected WWE departure, and like many within the company, he didn't see it coming. Speaking on his Hall of Fame podcast, the two-time WWE Hall of Famer said, "It was definitely out of the blue. It's got a lot of layers you can peel back and say, man, was it this or that? I left work last week and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't hear any rumors and there weren't any rumblings about Ava maybe taking a step back." Booker went on to reflect on how unpredictable the wrestling industry can be. While he made it clear that he respects her decision, he acknowledged that this was not something anyone internally appeared to anticipate. Then again, this business is unpredictable. You could be here today and gone tomorrow. I get it, I understand it, I just didn't see this one coming. It's the business. Now, just days after announcing her exit, Ava has made another move that suggests she's truly closing this chapter. In an Instagram story, she revealed she'll be selling the majority of the outfits she wore during her time on NXT television, inviting interested buyers to message her directly. According to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, the decision was entirely hers, with multiple sources stating she just didn't want to do it anymore. Meltzer also noted that while some have speculated about the reported release of her girlfriend Tatiana Dumas, there's no confirmed connection between the two situations. WWE has since moved her profile to the alumni section of its website, further cementing the transition. Whether this is a temporary step away or a permanent exit from the wrestling world remains unclear. The fan involved in the now viral moment with WWE superstar Roxanne Perez at Saturday night's main event has officially broken his silence. After the clip spread across social media, showing Perez breaking character following an inappropriate comment from the front row, the fan took to TikTok to address the backlash. In his video, he issued an apology, clarified what he says actually happened in the moment, and acknowledged that things escalated further than he intended.
Hey everyone, I'm the guy from the ringside Roxanne Perez chirping video, and for some reason it's still going crazy online, and a lot of people are saying the wrong things, and they don't actually understand the full situation. So I wanted to get on here and just clear some things up. First off, nobody made me apologize. It was fully my decision to. I feel like my tone in that video kind of, I got caught up in the energy. I got too hyped. I got too caught in the moment, and my tone was a little disrespectful. Matter of fact, it wasn't a little disrespectful. It was very disrespectful. And I think that's the reason everybody kind of got heated over it, because it seemed like I was just genuinely going after her because I disliked her. When in reality, I was just having a great time, and I was just chirping a heel during the match. That's something we do all the time. It's very common, and I never really meant any harm or anything like that. And we do it all the time. So I'm not really sure why people are coming out here and saying I'm disrespectful towards women, and we're doing this towards the women wrestlers. Like, if you know anything about me or the people that we go to shows with, that's not the case. We don't see color. We don't see gender. We don't see any of that stuff. We just go to wrestling shows. We have a great time. We cheer for the good guys and we boo the bad guys. I'm not sure why people are bringing gender or race into this. That has nothing to do with anything. Everything in the video everybody saw online is the full context. Nothing was said before that. Nothing was said after that. That was literally all of it. So people are out here saying, oh, he must have been saying things before that. None of that. And the security guard that came in the video and told me to sit down, and it was my last warning, it had nothing to do with any of the chirping or any of the interaction. It was because you couldn't stand up during a match in the front row. As far as I'm concerned, nobody was touching anyone. Nobody was harassing anyone. I do think my tone in that video was very disrespectful, and that's why I apologize ultimately. But I want to thank Liv Morgan for kind of setting the whole thing up. Liv saw me in Toronto. She came up to me. We set it up. And then Roxanne came, and then we just kind of talked things through. I'm not going to really get into detail about what was said or any of that. It's none of anyone's business. But we talked it through. I apologized. We cleared some things up. But I ultimately think the internet was the reason. This saying that we've only been targeting the women wrestlers, like, you've clearly never been around us at any shows or know anything about anything, because that's not the case. We don't see gender or race. Like, in wrestling, it's always heels and faces. That's all we see. And that was the reason all my family, friends, coworkers were defending me online. And I want to thank everybody for getting behind me, because if you know anything about me, you know that's not true at all. None of the shit that was said online was true. We get into it with wrestlers all the time, and it's always all fun and games. That's all it's meant to be. That's why we attend these shows. That's why we sit in the close-up seats, because at the end of the day, it's a different experience. But I understand that sitting that close up doesn't allow you to be disrespectful or to cross the line. And we don't try to cross the line. We never try to cross the line. That's never the case. That's never the goal. We are always trying to be respectful as possible.
Now that the fan has publicly apologized, opinions remain divided. Some believe the apology was genuine and that everyone involved has moved on. Others argue that stricter boundaries may need to be enforced at ringside moving forward. Do you think the apology was sincere? And was it enough? Should WWE take stronger measures to manage fan behavior at live events? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Clark Connors is officially All Elite. Following his surprise appearance on the January 31st episode of AEW Collision, the former NJPW standout has now confirmed his status with the company. The news was made official during the February 2nd edition of Wrestling Observer Live, where Bryan Alvarez stated, "I should also mention the debut of Clark Connors, who is officially signed with AEW." Connors, widely recognized for his role in New Japan Pro Wrestling's War Dogs faction, had not competed in an AEW ring since Forbidden Door 2025, where he challenged for the Trios World Championships, but this return felt different and far more aggressive. On Collision, Connors went one-on-one with Darby Allin in a hard-hitting contest that lived up to expectations. Despite a strong showing, Connors ultimately tapped out to the Scorpion Deathlock. However, the match result quickly became secondary to what happened next. After the bell, Allin grabbed a microphone and boldly declared himself the conqueror of the Death Riders, vowing to dominate AEW in 2026. That confidence didn't last long. Gabe Kidd stormed the ringside area and blindsided Allin, launching a vicious assault. Moments later, Connors joined the attack. The two turned the steel steps on their edge and drove Allin chest first into them in a brutal visual that shifted the tone instantly. The segment ended with Allin trapped beneath the steel steps as medical personnel rushed out, while Kidd stood tall and delivered a chilling warning. What do you make of Clark Connors officially joining AEW? Is this the beginning of a War Dogs takeover? And is Darby Allin in serious trouble moving forward? Powerhouse Hobbs' situation has drawn attention in recent weeks following his departure from AEW. Reports indicate that AEW made a significant offer to retain him before he ultimately chose to move on. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Bryan Alvarez detailed just how substantial AEW's proposal was. "He got a great AEW offer to stay, but I don't know his WWE offer. The AEW offer was much higher than I would have expected. It would have been a number that I believe would have been higher than anyone but Chris Jericho earned in AEW's first year in 2019. Alvarez went further, comparing the reported figure to major contracts of recent years. "It would be in line with what Bryan Danielson got to jump from WWE to AEW, maybe slightly less, but in line. It would be more than guys the level of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were making 4 years ago, less than they're making now, and in the range of what a guy the level of Rollins were making around the same time, and nearly triple of what many significantly high WWE stars were making in the first year or so of AEW after the first round of increases had taken place." While the financial specifics of Hobbs' WWE deal remain unknown, Alvarez noted that if WWE matched or came close to that level, it could indicate meaningful plans for him, while also acknowledging that WWE ultimately prioritizes who connects most with the audience. Adding to the speculation, Jim Ross discussed Hobbs' situation on Grillin' JR, saying, "He looks great. He called me a day or two ago thanking me for my help over the years." With Jim Ross offering his public support and WWE positioning Hobbs in the big leagues, it's clear that the next chapter of his career may already be taking shape. AEW's internal perception of Andrade is reportedly changing, and that shift could directly impact his position on the card moving forward. According to a January 30th Self-Made session on Self-Made Pro, Andrade's creative direction is currently being adjusted in real time. The reason? He's exceeding expectations. The report stated that while his booking is technically up in the air, the changes are happening for a positive reason. Those within AEW are said to be increasingly viewing him as a legitimate main event level talent, prompting internal conversations about elevating him beyond his current positioning. His recent performances support that narrative. Andrade has picked up notable victories over Angelico and Magnus, and most importantly, secured a major win against Swerve Strickland on the January 28th episode of Dynamite. That result alone positions him closer to the top of the card than he was just weeks ago. AEW is known for structured, long-term storytelling, but they've also shown a willingness to pivot when someone organically catches fire. If this report is accurate, Andrade may be forcing that kind of pivot. The bigger question now becomes timing. Does AEW fast-track him into a championship program, or continue building steadily before pulling the trigger? Where do you see Andrade fitting into the current main event picture? MJF has once again stirred the pot, this time drawing a direct response from Nic Nemeth. The situation began when MJF made a surprise call to Busted Open Radio, where he publicly offered Nemeth a shot at the AEW World Championship. While some fans quickly dismissed the idea due to Nemeth's current run with TNA Wrestling, Nemeth himself believes the match is not as far-fetched as it may sound. Speaking with Card Player, Nemeth suggested that flexibility on both sides could make the bout possible. The really funny thing is, yeah, we can do it. I don't know any inside dealings with AEW, but it seems like MJF can do what he likes. He's now hitting like independent shows. He's going to CMLL, he's all over the world. And I'm allowed to do basically whatever the hell I want with TNA, so it absolutely can be real. I'm sure he was just talking out his ass because he thinks I probably won't do it or it probably can't happen. Nemeth didn't stop there. While praising MJF's long-term potential, he made it clear he believes there is currently a gap between them inside the ring. But I appreciate it because he's got all the potential in the world to be one of the greatest of all time, and so far from what I've watched, and I'm a fan of his, but he couldn't possibly hang in the ring with me. He's hung around a broken down Daniel Bryan. Okay, that was probably just Daniel Bryan kind of leading the way, so the kid's got a hell of a future. He's going to be a fantastic multi-time champion, and I really think he'll be solidified as a legend, but at the moment, he couldn't hold my jockstrap. Nic Nemeth closed the discussion by making it clear that despite the trash talk, he would absolutely be open to stepping into the ring with MJF. He said he'd be honored to take part in a match that many fans wouldn't expect to see happen, especially one involving two top names from different companies. But if we ever get a chance to prove it, I would be humbled and honored to do it. Look at this match from two people who work in two different companies, and if we find a way to make it happen, whether it's money or people or a city, I'll do it and donate to charity, I don't care. Have this match that no one thinks could possibly happen this year and make it go down and have everyone saying, holy this stuff can really happen. Fans can make things happen. So not just MJF talking on his ass and trying to promote his show that I was going to watch anyway because I have to talk about it Thursdays on Busted Open, but give him a chance to actually back up the shit he talks. For now, the back and forth remains verbal. MJF is scheduled to face Brody King in an AEW World Championship Eliminator match on the February 4th episode of AEW Dynamite, keeping his immediate focus within AEW. Whether this exchange turns into something more than talk remains uncertain, but in an era of increased cross-promotional flexibility, the idea of MJF and Nic Nemeth sharing a ring no longer feels impossible, just unconfirmed. Do you think this is just hype, or could MJF versus Nic Nemeth actually happen? Share your thoughts below. Linda McMahon is back in the headlines, this time over a canceled school visit tied to her current role in government. According to News 12 in the Bronx, McMahon had been scheduled to visit McKinley Elementary School in Connecticut as part of the U.S. Department of Education's History Rocks Tour, an initiative connected to celebrating America's 250th birthday and promoting civic education. However, the appearance was called off after parents raised concerns. Fairfield Superintendent Michael Testani reportedly confirmed that the district received multiple phone calls and emails from parents who were unhappy about the planned visit. As a result, the event was removed from the schedule. One parent, Jill Allward, told News 12 of her concern, stating, "A lot of the students here need the special education services that the Secretary of Education tried to stop. Hearing she was coming here and going to be celebrated was quite unfortunate." As of now, McMahon has not publicly commented on the situation. While she is widely known as the former president of WWE, McMahon currently serves as U.S. Secretary of Education under the Trump administration. That role has placed her squarely in the middle of national policy debates and, as seen here, local reactions as well. What's your take on the cancellation? Was the district right to respond to parent concerns, or should the visit have gone ahead as planned? For all of our subscribers, don't miss the 9 a.m. Eastern video we dropped earlier today. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.